Hi, I'm Jake Anthony, and welcome to the Jake Report. I'm here at Alternative Creation Studios, where today we're going to take a look at the roles of the art facilitator and community connector in community living. The BC Government Employees Union, or the BCGEU, has over 8,000 community-based social service workers as members, many of them providing supports like these to youth and adults with developmental disabilities. Let's find out more about what they do and the impact they have on people's lives. I'm here with John Woods, who is a community connector with the Building Caring Communities organization and the Burnaby Association for Community Inclusion. What inspired you to get into this work?
I got into this work many years ago. I actually had a job as a canoe trip guide with the YMCA when I was in my teens, and I started working with folks with diverse abilities at that time, and it just seemed to really click. You know, that's how I got into this field way back when.
Well, I'm here with Sarah, who's the art facilitator with Alternative Creation Studios. So how did you hear about the art facilitator role, and what inspired you to get into this work?
So I started a community art nonprofit called Magpie's Nest. So we were doing a lot of collaborations with the folks at Alternatives, and I was talking with Caroline, who's our team manager, and I thought it would be a good fit with the community work I've been doing already.
We found out a couple of years ago that Burnaby Association and posAbilities and Simon Fraser and Powell River were all getting together to put together this new initiative called the Community Connectors. Really excited. It was a really fun, new, innovative way to do this work.
Yeah, I had heard of posAbilities before, but I'd first heard about Alternatives at East Feast, which is a community microfunding meal.
What kind of aptitude, training, or experience do you need to be successful in this particular role?
How involved you are with your local neighborhood, how comfortable you are getting to know new people, because a lot of the work that we're doing is supporting folks to find places in community that they want to be involved in.
So could you tell me maybe a little bit more about the team here and some of the projects?
Sure, yeah. Right now we've been starting a lot of special projects. So there was one where we just painted some murals for the Bright Nights in Stanley Park. And that was really interesting because it kind of gave a lot of different people in the studio a chance to take part in different aspects of the murals, and even having some artists come in and sort of observe the process and express their interest in helping us next year. So it's something that we hope we can continue.
There's maybe a knitting meetup down the street from where you live and you're interested in knitting. It's about, knowing that knitting meetup is there and sort of taking you there so that you can see if it's the right place for you.
I studied art therapy when I moved to Vancouver, and then I've been working in community art. I've been working in doing art therapy in a lot of different settings with a lot of different groups, mostly group work. And then with Magpie's Nest, which is the community art nonprofit, we've been working in a lot of different community settings, especially around this neighborhood of East Vancouver.
So how do you go about building caring communities?
The interesting thing about this initiative is that in addition to working directly with people who want to build social connections and want to build their network of friendships and their network of associates, we also work with community organizations.
So maybe could you give me an example of how your work is empowering other artists within the community?
For myself personally, I'm trying to bring in a lot of different types of art forms. So I know I'm mostly a textile artist, little textile group on Thursdays, and we have a community weaving project that we started.
The more people know their neighbors and the more that community organizations are better connected with one another, the better it is for everybody.
If I could sort of wave this wand of self-confidence in your own creative ability, because I think there's a lot of people that are interested in trying art, but they might not necessarily walk in the door, or might not necessarily try that thing that they're really excited about.
One thing that we did, for example, was we did a pop-up at the Burrard Street SkyTrain station between the hours of 7 and 8:30 in the morning. And so we just went up there along the side of the escalator with these signs that said, "Hey everybody, Nick wants to give you a high five." And one of our community connectors was giving everybody a high five as they came up the escalator. You could see their faces just going from to huh? Oh, huh. And then there's Nick, and he's smiling, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, fine." And they'll give them a high five. And they all stepped off that escalator just smiling. And I think it changed their day a little bit. That was a really fun event.
For me, it's about kind of listening to people's interests and then bringing in different types of art forms. It's been mostly adults, but it's interesting during the culture call. For example, yesterday we had a family come in, and there was a little girl who was 5 years old, and she was really interested in the weaving. So it was really fun to see how some of our participants were helping to teach this little girl about weaving. And it was an individual who I had just taught to weave the day before. So it was really nice to see her actually taking her skills and then sharing it with a young person in this case. So we would like to have a group, like a range of ages. especially, yeah. Yeah, I was going to mention that we're part of the Art Hives Network, which is a national network of community art studios. So that's something new that basically the Art Hives, what they believe is that everyone's an artist, and they like to promote as much free or affordable and accessible access to art for people. So that's something that we feel that we're really on board with. So as part of that, it's really about finding ways that everyone can be an artist. And I really like that idea because I don't think that you need necessarily special training. I think that everyone is an artist. Everyone has a creative spark that is waiting to come out in some way. I think it's a really important part of who we all are, and just finding the ways that everyone's voices can express that is really, that for me, that's incredibly empowering. On that note, I wanted to welcome you and any other community members that wanted to come in on Thursdays. We have our open studio workshops, which they run from about 10 until 2, and anyone is welcome to come in and drop in and create with us.
These members and their peers and other community social services provide support that results in more inclusive and connected communities across the province. It is truly inspiring work. This is Jake Anthony signing off, hoping to catch you next time on The Jake Report.